Right, RF over fibre in satellite communications networks and trends and techniques in RF signal distribution and switching matrices from Andrew Bond of ETL. Starting now, you have 10 minutes.
My Turkish 10 minutes moment of fame. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. I could talk about this subject for a couple of days, so I'm going to do it in 10 minutes. So bear with me on this. And I've pre-warned the interpreters to keep up with me. Okay, big subject. This is very linking into what Kevin's just been talking about. We're talking about teleports, and we're talking about teleport equipment, and we're talking about RF distribution here. So a little bit about ETL. For those of you who don't know us, and certainly Profin does, and thank you for organising this fantastic event today, we are a company, 125 people strong. We've got about 100 million quid's worth of equipment in the marketplace today, and that really is linked to the amount of Satcom's capacity that has increased over the last 15 years. So we touch all of you in a certain way. Don't get that in the wrong way. There are some challenging teleports out here. This is not a Turkish one. This is certainly one that we've come across. So our responsibility is to educate and bring the old teleport, and I'll let you know if you come up, and I'll tell you where this is, up to the modern times. So we live in the in the world of downlink between the antenna and the modem. Our responsibility is to distribute a really good quality RF signal. And for those of you who are engineers here, those signals can be carrying millions of dollars worth of revenue. Football, for example, which I know is very popular in Turkey. So I'm just going to be talking very quickly about two themes, fibre optic links and switch matrices. Switch matrices, as some of our customers in the audience already know, switch RF traffic through a teleport. They enable your customers to see live signals around the world. So if Turkey wins the World Cup, you know you've got a lot of customers want to see that one signal. And the key word here is there are no single points of failure and there's no redundancy. So you can see a system here. This is one actually we did in America, which is a big switch matrix. RF, L-band, downlink. The other trends that we're seeing at the moment is an opening in hot swap. So single points of failure lead into hot swap of power supplies. You know, when you take a module out, how many signal feeds you lose. And it also links into monitoring control systems. You have got to see your signal coming down from satellite and problems with it as quickly as possible. So it's techniques and designs that we make and hot swap equipment that means that we have an uninterrupted downlink signal. Certainly redundancy switching. We've already talked about Ka band and its move up into Q and V band. That has an issue with rain fade and other signal qualities. We are seeing a lot more main and standby dishes around the world. This is a site in Hong Kong that we did, and we made main and standby backup antennas. Very familiar. Certainly Profin are very good at doing things like this, and certainly we'll be seeing a lot more of this in the coming markets as more satellites are launched in that frequency. So quickly on to RF over fibre. We talked about rain fade. We are seeing a lot more main teleports and backup teleports. And those teleports could be 100 meters, they could be 50 kilometers, they could be 500 kilometers. And this equipment that we're designing at the moment allows you to push that RF stream in very good quality coming out of the satellite, out of the LMB, and you can throw that very good quality beam over RF around your teleport. Again, the themes here are hot swap, low single points of failure, L-band carriage, and for the slightly longer feeds, I want to educate you, for those who haven't used it, onto two areas, CWDM and TWM. We've only got a few minutes left, so I'll just make you aware of those two things if you haven't come across that type of fibre before. It is something that we, as a global supplier of equipment, are seeing more and more of. Wouldn't you agree? So CWDM here, we're able to pass RF links over 50 kilometers. I can't remember what the distance is between our location here in Istanbul, but certainly, I'm sure there are some fibre link capacity available to use. And then my penultimate slide here is a redundancy site, and you can see how complicated redundancy can get. This was a system that we actually used for Turkcell, was it? This is a 4+1 redundancy fiber system. It's used here in Turkey. Hot swap modules down the bottom with monitoring ports for carrier monitoring, dual power supplies, single points of failure, main and standby antennas, and also RF detection. So it's all about making sure that your customers have got signal all the time and it's reliable, and you haven't got somebody on the phone going, what the hell is going on? Because engineers are the people we keep happy, and they're the people who make the money come in. So we still see some terrible teleports around the world. I'm sure that isn't yours, and I'm sure we're not going to see it in Turkey. But this is about buying professional equipment for the future. Okay, that's all.
Oh, you've done so well. Yeah, okay.
I don't want the wrath
of Barry. No, look, you've done it in 6 minutes.
You told me to be quick.
No, I don't, not like that, not world record pace. Anyway, let's just,
all right.
that's
Thank you very much.
All right.
All right.
Well done.